Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Today we're going to talk about pitch slapping. Does anyone know what that means? Being pitch slapped? It's definitely no fun. The description is that when somebody reaches out to you and immediately says, here, let's book a Zoom call so I can tell you about my solution, or I help coaches just like you make more money, or buy my book. I've got this book out. These are disgusting tactics. And they really show me that you're just thinking about yourself and you're not thinking about the person sincerely that you're reaching out to. So let's learn today some of the tactics that I prefer to use that have helped me build my businesses. I've got 20 for you. So hang tight. I promise I'll go through them fast, but don't hesitate to chime in with questions. So before we get started, let me just say a big shout out to hello, honey, Justin. Hello, Peter, Jeremy, Denise, Vicky. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I know that some coaches have taught these methods of pitch slapping, and I feel sad about that, especially the cookie cutter, copy and paste this. Another hidden form of pitch slapping that I want to mention that's a bad habit is how's business, or how can I help you? For me, those things are kind of like slimy as well. And I know some people argue with me that, well, I'm trying to ask what they need. What do they need? I'm like, I don't know you. How could I possibly know how you could help me? Maybe you can help me get a new car lease. Maybe you can tell me where's a good manicurist around my area. Maybe you can give me your grandma's cake recipe. I mean, when you ask me, how can I help you? You have to introduce yourself first, please. So oh, wow. Okay. Vicky says that there's a problem with the live stream. I hope that anybody's not having that problem. If you are, please come to YouTube. So let me tell you what. Today I'm going to get you on the right path. So can you do me a favor? Make a pledge, no pitch slapping. Make a pledge for me. Make a pledge for yourself. Make a pledge for those poor victims who have to endure all this crap. So let me teach you how I'm doing my my sales. Hello, Brenda. Nice to see you. Oh, my kitty. So let's dive in. You guys ready? Okay. So first and foremost, before you even get around to pitch slapping people, can you set your criteria of the people who are your target audience? And then be really clear about these people who you serve. And I know this is LinkedIn Live issues. LinkedIn Live issues. Hold on, people. Let me check what's going on. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to drop into the chat YouTube. If this is easier, if LinkedIn is acting weird, check if YouTube is better, please. So let me find my event here and let me see if I can drop into the chat here. I'm going to add a comment. I added it under the event. I hope it worked. Okay. Check if YouTube. All right. So hopefully that worked. On YouTube, I dropped the link in there. You know why? LinkedIn is afraid that I'm going to tell you guys all the secrets. Then you won't need LinkedIn anymore because you'll be making the money. And so they decided to block me. Haha. Juana, yeah. Oh gosh. Yes. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on. It's not me. I'm okay. So here's what we want to do. hopefully you guys can come over to YouTube. So, like I said, who are you trying to serve? Who is your target market? Who do you produce your content for? You want to set really clear parameters. For me, my target audience are SMEs, creatives, coaches, and solopreneurs. So any service-driven business would be somebody who would be on my preferred list. So now that's number one. Number two, Brenda says LinkedIn is glitchy today. Well, I hope it's not just me, because I do have bad internet, as we've seen in the past, but I promise you, it's looking good for me when I watch it. So number two, prepare your home for traffic. All right, somebody's got audio. So I said number one was to set clear criteria about who you're trying to reach. Number two, prepare your home for traffic. What does that mean? What I mean by that is before you even reach out to me, make sure you know where you're going to send me to learn about you. The last place I want to go, to be really honest, is your about profile. About profiles are, I only go there if I got really interested in this person. But when someone reaches out to me, I'm in lazy mode because I'm on the receiving end. It's a whole different ballgame if I'm stalking you, right? So imagine that these people, you've reached out to them, and to tell them, go check out my about section is really not cool. So instead, what I would do is I would have a simple landing page or a full-blown website, depending on what you're doing. For people who don't have the means to do a full website or who are terrified about the cost of building a website, do Card. So Card, CARDD. It's a really cool, simple website builder. Otherwise, I skip, like I have a WordPress site, but I'm mostly just using my Kajabi. So Kajabi is one that I highly recommend because you can build all your courses, your community. You can do your billings, your emailing, your blog, your podcast. Even your coaching sessions can be run through Kajabi. So Kajabi is an all-in-one tool. So I feel like the cost pays for itself because you end up getting so much more out of it. So why is this important for prospecting? Because your first impression is where you send people. And I've had a million times this happen to me that someone reached out to me and I went to their, like, the name of their business and it's like no website found. It wasn't a good first impression. Okay. So if you need help with this, reach out to me. I can give you some advice how to set up a page that's traffic ready, that's prepared for your people. All right. So I'm not going to go into that in depth, but it has to be done. But then you're going to have to do the same thing. You're going to have to do the same thing on your socials, people. So if you want to prospect, you need to make sure your socials are prospect friendly. So mostly what that means is that I can clearly see what you do. And it doesn't say some weird thing like I'm the master of the universe or I help Kakoki. What? Denise, you don't know Kajabi. Come on. Kajabi. I know it's a funny name, isn't it? Kajabi. But make sure that your social profiles really tell me what you do and they have a clear place where you want to send me. So this is the time, people, where you want to try to put together a lead magnet. So if I just am meeting you and I'm trying to like understand what you do, if I click on your homepage and I see that you have a really cool lead magnet on the homepage in the hero section, meaning the upper third part of your website, or a sticky bar or a sidebar or a pop-up, you can put your lead magnet in so many places. Then I'm more likely to just opt in right away because I know I can always unsubscribe. So I like to opt into people's stuff. I do it very easily. I know some people don't, but I prefer just to opt in and check you out. And then afterwards, I just opt out if it's too much or it's not right for me. So make sure that you have a good lead magnet on your homepage. All right. And then what I want you to do in order to prospect is make sure that you have a minimum of high value content on your webpage, on your website, and your socials, because I don't know where this traffic's coming from. So I just want to make sure that I've got something for them to see. So what does high value content mean? Well, let's say that you are a weight loss coach. Well, I definitely want to see a lead magnet that talks about the 10 steps to lose a pound per week or something like that. I would totally opt in for something like that, or the 5-day healthy eating challenge. Like, make sure that there's some really sexy, attractive, fun stuff that I'm like, I want that, right? And do that on your socials and your website so that wherever I'm going, I'm going to want to know more about you. In fact, over time, if you do this consistently for 6 to 9 months, the idea is people, oh no, more glitchy issues. Kelly, can you go to YouTube and check if it's doing that on YouTube? Let me put back up my YouTube. The YouTube link is in the chat. Hold on. So if you just go to christamoleone.com/YT, that might be easier if you can't copy and paste this link, because I have it's a direct link to my YouTube channel, and Vicky's telling me that YouTube's fine. So yeah, Kelly's coming through LinkedIn. And hi, Michelle. So it looks like we're having LinkedIn glitchy issues, and YouTube is working just fine. So Michelle, Kelly, Denise, if you guys are having problems hearing me, go to YouTube. So here's what we're going to do. The next step we're going to do, step number 5, and of course you can catch the replay if you missed if there's some glitches here, right? Step number 5 is hang out where your ICA is. So this is actually a kind of catch-22, because I see people who are on LinkedIn posting like crazy, and they're doing very high value content, but they're not connecting with their ICA. Now, sorry, I'm using my slang. ICA stands for Ideal Customer Avatar. All right. So if you're doing that and you're hanging out and you're posting, but you're not where your ICA is, then there's a problem. Okay. So think about your ICA. Remember, in the very first step, we said we need you to identify who is your target market, who are you going to produce content for, and then figure out where they would hang out. Now, of course, social media is like a big sinkhole, right? So we have to go deeper. We have to look if there's other places we might catch them. For example, look for hashtags. So if I am a weight loss coach, I'm going to be looking at weight loss, and I'm going to be doing some research. I'm going to look at Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and I'm going to probably be doing research with these hashtags to figure out what big hashtags I can follow. And then that's the next step that I wanted to tell you, is connect with the megaphone people. So what does that mean? It means that once you figured out, okay, our audience is hanging out here on LinkedIn. I know they're on LinkedIn. Figure out who they're following. How do you figure that out? Well, I just told you with the hashtags. So I'm going to look, where can I find out stuff about weight loss? And then I'm going to start looking for who are the people talking about weight loss. Same thing if it's personal branding, if it's productivity, if it's LinkedIn, like LinkedIn training. Figure out who are the bigwigs out there. So I like to call those bigwigs the megaphones, because those are the people who are screaming the loudest and the audience is coming towards them. So find them and then try to connect with them, because you know that that's where the party's happening, right? And once you've connected with them, then what you want to do is you want to connect with the people who are following them. So look at their posts and look at the posts that are getting a lot of traction, and look at in the comments, you're going to see all the people who liked and commented, and you can visually skim the list and understand who's your ICA. For me, anybody who says they have like, for example, I work with coaches. So I would go through and I'd say, look, there's 100 likes. Immediately I identified 10, 15, 25 coaches, boom. And I send them personalized connection requests. And here's how I do this connection request, because this is also important. It's not just the what, it's also the how. Oops, there we go. Connect with the megaphones. Wait, no, I didn't say that. There, connect with the people who are following the megaphones. So, and remember the people, I should be more specific, your ICA, not every single person on the post. Go through the list and see who are the people who would fall into your category. Does this take some time? A little bit, but I actually practice a 5x5 strategy where 5 times a day I go into LinkedIn and I do like a 10 to 15 minute quickie. And then I'm out of there. And sometimes it's as little as 3 times a day. And I don't do it 7 days a week. So let's say like 5 days a week, because it's my main business. If it's not your main business, you can do that even less. But if you know that that's where your people hang out, maybe it's Twitter, maybe it's Instagram, wherever your people hang out, you want to go in there, find the megaphones, follow the megaphones, try to connect directly with the megaphones, send them a DM, tell them you really love their content and you are a fellow coach, or you are a like-minded, you're in the same industry, whatever, because you never know when there will be partnerships. All right, guys. And also you will gain clout by being connected to them, because when you send out connection requests to their audience, they can see who the common connections are, and they will be like, oh, he's connected with Krista, so that's okay. So green light, green light. I know I've got clout here. No, but you know what I mean. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say. And so what do you say to these people? So you send them a personalized connection request. Remember, we're prospecting without pitching. Now, what would be one that I would say? So here's what I would say. I would say, hey, I'm going to write one right now so I can show you. Hey, Juana, I noticed you in the comments on Vicky's post. Vicky's video type post today. I love connecting with other coaches or other podcasts, folks. If you are open to it, I'd love to add you to my network. Okay, and that's it. So this is short and sweet, and you can personalize it and make it sound like you. But can I please ask you one favor? Don't forget the personalized invitation request. The bigger our networks grow, like me, I'm almost at, I don't even keep track anymore, but let's just say I've got a lot of followers, okay? And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to show you that I get a lot more traffic now than I did when I had like a lot less followers. And when you get to have a lot of followers, like these megaphones who I'm talking about, they have a lot of followers. It means that they have to sift through a lot of a lot of requests, invitations, and DMs, and in-mails. And what is going to stand out to them is a very short, sweet, to the point personalized invitation requests, because most people are too lazy. Now, prospecting for me, the secret to good prospecting is to show respect to the other person, that I value you. I don't see you as some kind of a score, like I scored, I got that client. Haha, now I can count their money and I win. I see every one of the people who I reach out to with respect. And I see them from a human to human perspective, not a prospecting perspective, if that makes sense. And because I see the human in every person, I try to write the way that I talk. So if I send you a invitation, I want it to sound like a human. All right. The first sentence should always use their first name. Never forget to put their first name. No one wants to get an email that says ma'am, sir, Mrs., Mr., hi, hello. I want you to say, hi, Krista, or dear Krista, or hey, Krista. Use their name. And also, this very important is I'm already looking for the very first sentence. So if I see, I'd like to add you to my network, or we have a lot of people in common, that sounds to me like AI bot has written this. And there's a lot of people using those tools that send out invitations over and over, and they're all fake. So I want to see something personalized. So the very first sentence, what I put in this example is, I noticed you in the comments on Vicky's video type post today. So because it's recent, Juana will probably remember what I'm talking about because she was on that post today as well. So if you send this a month later, you already kind of lost that touch. You can't use it. Okay. So use it when there's, in the moment. And maybe you could even say, I noticed you on Krista's live stream about prospecting today, So just look at that, because you're going to be showing up where the megaphone is, who's talking about subjects that you think your audience wants to hear about as well. And Vicky says there's a lot of messages coming through like that, and you just delete them. Exactly. You got to have a personalized note. Another thing I like to add, and this is, you guys, you can steal any of my stuff, is, do you have room for one more? I don't know why, but I just think that sentence is kind of funny. And so sometimes and I don't just say that, I'll say what I already said, like, hey, we were both in Vicky's vid chat room today. Today I'm using you as an example a lot, Vicky. But this would be an example. And I would say, I love Vicky's stuff, and I happen to notice you, and would you be open to connecting? Do you have room for one more? Something like that, right? Just make sure there's a little bit of personalization, okay? Okay, but now comes the real important stuff. And this is where I think a lot of people do the pitch slapping. So if you made it this far, you should have the right people. You should be connected to the right people. You should have approached them the right way, so they already feel kind of happy about you. Now you can either nail it or ruin it. You can ruin it by completely just talking about yourself and talking all about what you sell, or you can actually draw them further in by doing things the right way. So here's what I want you to do. Make a killer first impression. This should be your top goal. What is a killer first impression? So for example, once someone accepts my request, I'm always going to put something very short and sweet, like this. Great to meet you. Smiley face. Make it just a little bit nice. And then one of the things I did was I created a short, sweet post. I guess it's not that short, but I'll show it to you so you guys can tell me what you think. And this is like one version of what I use. Uh-oh. Okay. Nice to connect. There's 2 ways to get to know me. And then I put my story, which is a YouTube video. And then I have an intro post on LinkedIn. And then I will just say, I look forward to seeing your intro. Have a great day. P.S. I host LinkedIn audio events for women every Friday. If you're interested, you can join here. So you can already invite them to some kind of thing that you do, right? For me, I have the LinkedIn. I have 2 groups on LinkedIn. One is for entrepreneurs and one is for women. And so I might mention both or either. If it's a woman, I'll probably mention the one about women. But I think that this is one of my other secrets about not pitching is have a place to hang out with them. So if you're just in the DMs, then usually there's only one place people go, which is over to Zoom. But as you know, some people are just zoomed out and they're not so eager to go to Zoom with you right away. So you have to kind of wait until it feels right, or it feels like the conversation is getting interesting and you're like, hey, why don't we hop on a Zoom call, right? So here's my LinkedIn group for business owners. So I might, in my invitation, once they accept and I introduce myself, I might invite them to come join this group. This is a brand new group, by the way. So if you guys want to join, please come check it out. That's one. And then the other one that I have is the one for women. And so obviously I wouldn't be sending that one to every guy, right? But these are ways to stay in touch. These are ways to send them somewhere where we can continue hanging out and getting to know each other better, right? Now, the way you do this has to also be done with tact, because if you just say, join my Slack channel or join my Discord, I don't even know you. And so it's kind of weird to invite me right away to join your thing. So for me, it's more like a PS, by the way. And I might not even offer it to them right away. It depends how the conversation goes. Now, this is what's really important is at this point, you need to wait for an answer. Relationships are a 2-way street. And so pitching, it feels all like one way. It's like ding, 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 just throwing these things at you. Whereas if you want to prospect without pitching, you need to wait for them to keep answering you. And if you do this every day and you set aside some time, like I said, the 5x5 system. So let's just say this. What if you took 5x5? So what if you did 5 times per day? You could do 5 times per day, approximately 5 minutes. And you could go into LinkedIn and you could just, so what would you do 5 times per day? Well, let me show you what I would do. So I would use hashtags to find the megaphones. So when I go through these hashtags, I would find until I find. So you have to build your hashtag list, and then you can use that to search for these people who are really talking about these topics and who are getting a lot of traction, right? You can tell they've got hundreds of comments, thousands of likes, whatever, but they're talking exactly about your industry topic. And then you start creating a list of those megaphones, right? Create a list. And this isn't 5 times 5. This is like in general, so you can go back and find them again and work with this list, right? So create a list of megaphones, and then engage on their posts. Engage on their posts and try to give value. Never try to send people over to your profile like, hey guys, come over to my profile. I've seen people post links on their own, and sometimes I think it's intentional trying to get people to leave this post and go to their profile. But sometimes it really is. I've had people leave comments on my post like, I offer graphic design services. And I'm like, this isn't a comment. This is an advertising on my post. So don't do that or you're going to get in big trouble. Okay. So, and then you engage on their post and then you start connecting with their followers. So once you see that their followers fit into your profile of the people you're trying to serve, then you can send out that message I said earlier, like, hey, Juan, I noticed you today on Justin Welch's post or somebody else's post. Wow, my cats are at it again. And this is how you slowly but surely will build an audience of people. And then you want to initiate the conversation. Don't collect connections. Don't ever just add people and then forget about them. I'm like, why did you add me if you're not going to introduce yourself? Make sure, these are like the sins that I hate, is not sending a personalized invitation request or sending a generic one. Then not interacting with me. You just added me. I accepted. So that's why you want to keep on top of your DMs. The best way to keep on top of your DMs is to have these short bursts of checking in. So I find for me, like 5 times 5 works really best because then it feels like I'm not spending hours on LinkedIn, but I'm doing these short check-ins. So imagine it kind of like a diet where you eat a lot of small meals per day instead of a couple of big meals. Same kind of idea. Juana asks, how do you know your link to your main? Do you know your link to your main LinkedIn Live page? So LinkedIn Live only gives you an event page. So the event page is like just per event, right? So are you talking about the one I'm having right now? This is it. I will give it to you right here. This is me on LinkedIn right now. But yeah, if you just go to my profile on LinkedIn, but I don't think I have a main, there is no like main event page, unfortunately. Juana. Yes. So Vicky said she just sent a personalized request using your example to someone I saw in a LinkedIn post. Yeah, like hey, I saw you on I don't know, Zach's posts about YouTube and I recognized you from TikTok. I'm a big fan of TikTok as well, or I'm a video coach. I'd love to connect with you. And this really creates trust right away as well, because humans are wired to always be a little bit skeptical and distant from strangers, because remember, in our background, our ancestors were, my village might get attacked from your village, and so we don't mingle and stuff like that. So I think we're kind of like that. We have to sniff each other out. So I definitely feel like that is one good way of building trust right away. Is like, oh, she's okay because immediately she put me at ease with something, right? So Denise says she's not on top of her DMs. So then you shouldn't be in business. I know you're going to hate me, right, for that. That's tough love, tough love. But seriously, you got to find a system to be on top of your DMs. And I'll tell you why, Denise. I can actually count on, both hands how many times I have sent DMs to people who I wanted to hire. I had money burning in my pocket. My wallet was on the table. My credit card was out. And I was writing a DM to them because I wanted to hire them. All right. And as you guys know, for it's one thing if you're just like buying a course with somebody, you may just do it off their website or an ebook. But if I want to like hire you for services, I want to talk to you first. I have questions. I want a personalized, answer from you, right? And so these situations where I DM the person and I even said in the DM, I'm looking for these services. Can we talk? And they never answered this many times. And I've even had times where I sent them follow-ups. I'm like, hey, just checking in. Did you get my last DM? And I thought I would never send a DM on LinkedIn if they weren't active on LinkedIn, just like on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I would send an email. But here's the problem. With all those times I'm telling you about, these were people who post all the time. Like you see them all the time on LinkedIn. So why aren't they answering their DMs? So my thing is I blacklist them and I decide never to recommend them to anyone. So even if I know people who could use their services, I decide never to do that because I don't want to send other people their way when they don't deserve the business. Because there's other people like my clients who are hungry, smart entrepreneurs who are waiting to take that work. So I'm going to prioritize people who answer their DMs. And one of the ways to do that is to keep up with your DMs. Just like, let's say that your bank statements, you're like, oh, I hate math. I don't check my bank statements. And then it comes tax season and you have to go back and check several months of your bank statements at one time. You will be so overwhelmed. So that's why it's super important. Come here, kitty. Come here. We have to show you the kitten, everybody. It's a 3-month-old kitten. You say hi? So we thought this was a girl. We found this kitten like a week and a half ago. And we thought it was a girl, but it turned out it's a boy. So we renamed it from Lucy to Leo. Say hi. Leo is a lucky cat. Hey, are you a baby? Nice baby. Juana says maybe you scare them because they already know about you. Exactly. I'm like, I'm coming for you. But seriously, guys, it's really there's no excuse. If you want business, you need to be on top of your DMs. And Jeremy, yeah, heck yes. It's important to respond to DMs. So, and that's the thing. So here's what I think. I personally don't like hopping on a call with people unless there's been some exchange in dialogue, which means if you reach out to me and you say, hi, my name is Jeremy, let's set up a Zoom call, or here's my Zoom call link. I find it a little bit too fast for me, too fast moving. So what I prefer is that you give me an introduction. So you say, thank you for accepting my request. It's nice to meet you. And then you tell them, I am a third-time entrepreneur. I built an 8-figure digital agency and a 7-figure B2B consultancy. And now I'm building an e-platform to teach all things entrepreneurship. I serve subject matter experts, coaches, creatives, and small business owners. I'm always open to connecting with people, getting referrals. What about you? Would you mind telling me a little bit more about your business? And if you do that and you start the conversation, 2 things happen. Number 1, you just positioned who you are and whom you serve and what you can do. And right away, that makes me understand you a lot better. Number 2, you've asked me politely to tell about themselves. All right. I like to ask permission, because I do think that is more polite and it creates a better kind of exchange. And then wait for them to answer. And remember, if you're doing my method, you're going to go back out there and you're going to get new people. So what are you going to do? You're going to be going back out to those megaphones and hunting for more potential business, right? So of course you have to find, where do these people conjugate? Where do they meet up? Where do they hang out? And where they hang out is where people are talking about those topics that you care about. After you've connected with a lot of people and you've been producing amazing content for 6 to 9 months, you may have a big enough network that now you're the megaphone, and now you can hunt people on your own posts. So then what you do is you dangle the carrot. And what I mean by that is you start producing value content around the topics of the pain points and the desires of your audience. So can you tell me, what are the 3 most critical pain points of your audience? If I asked you that right now, let me know in the comments. Just say, yes, I know them, or no, I have to think about it. So if you don't know what the 3 most critical pain points of your audience is right now, there's a problem. All right. So my audience, their pain points, I told you I serve SMEs. I serve SMEs, coaches, creatives, and solopreneurs. They're 3 most critical, oh my goodness, I can't spell critical pain points are: number 1, finding clients. Number 2, getting traction on social media. All right, I'm going to share with you mine and see if any of you say yes to this, then it means that you should be working with me. So these are the three biggest pain points: is finding clients, growing an audience, and building great offers. Because building great offers, meaning like having a funnel and knowing what's your upsell, what's your downsell, what's your signature program, what should I price this as, right? Exactly. I see a lot of cool comments here. So guys, this is how you can start prospecting without pitching. So now that you've made a great killer impression, you really show genuine interest. This is very important. Really show genuine interest in the person by asking them great questions and putting them at ease. This is going to help them feel good about you. All right. And they're going to be relieved when they see that you're not trying to sell them something. And what's another thing that you want to really do is learn how to ask better questions. Learn how to have good discussions with people. Okay. It's not easy. You have to find a question to keep the conversation going without feeling like it's, pointless. And so, you can ask them, invite them. What's your call to action? So what is your call to action with this prospect? That's a non-sales call to action. I need you to have a non-sales. So think about how you guys interact with people in the DMs right now, or when you connected with them. A non-sales CTA. So let's list some of the CTAs off. Number 1, I'd love to invite you to my weekly weekly audio room. There's one. That's a good one, right? I'd love to invite you to my weekly audio room, in case you can make it, right? You don't want to sound too aggressive, and then give them the details, and then see you soon, maybe, right? Um, I run a community for entrepreneurs in case it interests you. So invite them to a community, right? And the more you make it sound attractive, the better, because believe me, I've been invited to groups and it didn't really make me want to join. So make sure you give some explanation about it. Like you could say, inside the community, we do like a monthly Zoom call, or we do regular lives, or we have fun. Just give them a reason to join as well, right? And then of course you can get people on Zoom calls, but if you get them on a Zoom call, and that's what I'm putting as a call to action, if you ever feel like it, maybe we could have a virtual coffee sometime. Oh, I can't spell. So start inviting people to stuff, right? So invite them to places where it feels like I care about you. I'm not trying to get you to buy something. So I never invite new connections to come to one of my paid events or join my new program, because I don't know them well enough. I just don't feel like that's the way to approach sales. Jeremy says, never pitch off the bat, but get to know those who you're engaging with while giving them a reason to know. That's exactly it. Mwah! I love it. There you go. The law of attraction. Perfect. Along those lines, Jeremy, another thing I really find important, and this is to build likability, trust, and everything. You guys have to get your content strategy under control, because if you do it the right way, then these new connections, they're going to start following you. Oh, there goes the kitty. So create authentic, valuable, and occasionally funny content. So we want to see the person too. We want to see your personality. We want to see a little bit of private stuff about you. So I think it's super important to not forget to use your content, because those people will start liking you. All right. And very, very important, engage on their posts. So you just connected with people and you're interested in getting to know them better. Go to their profile on purpose and engage on their posts. And remember, if these are your people, if these are really the people you serve, then you should find some posts that interest you. I have argued with some of these influencers who tell me I don't engage back ever. Like, I never go to my followers' posts and engage. And I'm like, well, then you really don't deserve your following, because I don't feel like I am some kind of, queen on the pedestal and everyone else is beneath me. I want to go and thank people by reciprocating. What is that word? Well, you guys know what I mean. By giving back to them, right? And then keep in touch with them regularly. So yes, it's a job. Consider this like part of your job. If you're building a business, if you're growing, you got to keep those conversations going. If you do it the right way, you can get people into your community. So that's a way of keeping up the engagement and making it easier on you. But I still see value in the DMs and checking in with people. How have you been? I haven't seen you around for a while. And it's not because you're particularly interesting in thank you, Jeremy. There's the word that I was looking for. I can never pronounce that word. um, but the truth is that, you have to genuinely care about people. If you're just counting the numbers, then that's not good. But I also want you to know something is that once you've built your audience and you're engaging with these people, I want you to start running polls, asking good questions, finding out where they're really struggling. So the more conversations you have every week, the better around what's going on with them. How are they doing? What do they think about LinkedIn? Do they find that everything's going well on LinkedIn, or what's their complaint? What's not working for them? Talk to them about their marketing, like what's going on with their website. Do you have a website? Oh, cool. Tell me about your website. Just start conversations, because the purpose of this is market research. So everything that they tell you, you can be thinking about this. And if you keep hearing the same things over and over from multiple people, you need to build a product for this, right? And that's where you can come to my academy, because I'm all about what can you sell me? What do you have that you can sell? And I want for all of my people that they don't have to work a job. So my main goal for my people is that they build passive income streams. So they're working less and their income keeps increasing, but it's a passive income. So building products is super important. And how do you build good products? You don't build them because you went off and hid for I don't know how long, and just were trying to build it on your own. You build directly with your people. All right. Today happens to be September 15th. It happens to be the last day of my founders special to join my academy. So if you guys follow me on LinkedIn, you'll hear me talking about this academy. It took me 2 years to build this academy, but was I off by myself building it? Heck no. I was listening to every single client who I had. I was working one-on-one with a lot of people, and I was running free communities. I was also running beta groups. And I kept listening to people. And like a student, I was studying everything they said so that I could say, okay, you're struggling with this. How can I build this into a solution? And the solution that took 2 years to build ended up being turning into the academy, which I run now, from 0 to 6 Academy, like you see here. So yes, Juana says passive income is the goal, but you don't get there by your imagination, right? You get there by asking questions, by spending a lot of times in the conversations. And then I think keep in touch regularly and try to offer free stuff. So if you want to prospect, you have to nurture. So for me, prospecting and nurturing are like this. I don't consider prospecting to be a short thing. I consider it to be a long term. And remember, if you're dealing with your ideal customer avatar, there's going to be 3 types. There's going to be, let's say that you serve people who are struggling with money mindset. All right. You're a money mindset coach. So there's going to be a certain type of person who seems to resonate with content about money mindset. But when you approach them to prospect to them, you're going to find very quickly that there's subcategories within your bigger prospecting pool, right? So these people all seem to struggle with money mindset. So you're like, oh, they're my customer. I can prospect to them. Well, let me tell you, part of them don't like you. So when they see maybe they mildly like your content, but they don't like you, all right? There's nothing you can do about that. And it doesn't mean you should feel bad. It doesn't mean you should change who you are. It just means that they're more attracted to some other type of person. I mean, come on. You guys, you have your friends. There's a reason you hang out with your friends, but you don't hang out with somebody else, right? So don't ever feel bad about that. There you go. It's the law of attraction in its purest form. It's a personality thing. So it has nothing to do with your competencies and everything to do with their personal preferences. So now we've got the big pool of people struggling with money mindset, and we want to prospect to them. We already cut off 1/3 who just don't like you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. Then you've got the people who are at different stages. So there's the lurkers. The lurkers are the ones who are always overthinking, and they hop around from different content. They follow different people, and they're just kind of in research mode, but like permanently, and they never really take action. They're not ready to take action. And there's nothing you can do about that except to keep nurturing them. So they're kind of like long-term down there in your pipeline. And who knows, maybe you'll make them the right offer, and they will grab it. But in general, they're not fast action takers. They're not there yet. Then there's the people who will really buy your product if you nurture them. They're ready for that product. And the truth is, most of them don't even know it. They don't even know that they needed you before you showed up and showed them the way. And those are the people that I usually end up working with. The people who were ready for this, but I'm able to really show them what this transformation could look like and show them a clear path. That's what's really important about prospecting. If you're just like, behind the curtain number 4, you can buy my product and all your problems will disappear, I'm going to think that you're some kind of snake oil salesman. But if you can show me, look, I've listened to these problems you're having. It's really clear that all you need to do is follow these steps and we can fix it. And I have social proof. I have other clients who had these problems and they followed those steps. Here, I can show you what that looks like. And once you do that, you've planted a seed in their head. Maybe this solution could work for me. And then it's just a question of when and how much it costs, right? So you also need to be very careful to have perfect pricing, because we're talking about prospecting without pitching. But what if you spend all your energy prospecting and this customer really likes you, this lead, right? And then it's worse than pitch slapping, price slap them. So pitch slapping is when I just met you and they're like, buy my stuff, just sign here, go there and buy my stuff. That's what we call pitch slapping. Price slapping is just as bad. Price slapping is when you've been super nice to me and you're making me feel like I really like what you're saying, and then you're like, and now you need to pay me $100,000. All right, that's price slapping, and it happens to me regularly. I've had many people price slap me, and I'm like, what? That can't be the price. And I'm very outspoken, but a lot of people won't be as forthcoming. They will feel embarrassed and just uncomfortable telling you that the price is too high. And what they will do is they will ghost you. So you'll lose a prospect because you didn't do your perfect pricing. So this is a topic for another day, but it's absolutely related to prospecting. Is you have to have some attractive offers. So if you're prospecting and you have nurtured the person, you're having conversations, you're actually liking this person and they seem to be liking you, and then you price slap them with some offer that sounds good, but the price is like way out of their reach, then they might even unfriend you. Some people get really angry about this types of pricing. and they think you're kind of like a scam artist as well. So do your pricing very carefully. If you guys go to my YouTube channel, if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you go over to YouTube, you'll see that my last podcast was about pricing. So you can find my video, and if you want me to send it to you, I can. I even have a worksheet to help you with setting your price goals. Because I do think it's such a shame when people did a great job prospecting and then you price slap them in the end. All right. So I've given you a lot of tips today about prospecting without pitching. But I think that the ultimate thing is to think about this as a long-term game. Some people, they will move more quickly through your pipeline than others, but that's not what you should be worried about. What you should be worried about is going back out there and consistently repeating the game, getting new people into your pipeline, nurturing them, build a community, have a free community, have free events, put out great value content that positions you as an expert and somebody passionate about solving their problem. And if you do that and you invite them and you chat with them and you're there for them and you check in with them, then you're doing more than enough. Can you force someone to buy something from you? No, you can't. But you can make them appropriate offers at the appropriate time, meaning the appropriate time is not when you just connected with me. The appropriate time is not when you just told me that, you're sick or something, right? And I'm like, "Oh, well, why don't you just buy my $2,000 program?" I'm like, "Wow, that was sleazy," right? Um, so you really need to figure out how can you build incredible offers? And that's why earlier I said, "What do I do?" Because it's super important to know who you serve and how you can what their biggest pain points are. Um, So this is what I'm doing, finding clients, growing an audience, building great offers. So building great offers. So let's end this prospecting with the sale. If you've been staying in the friend zone and being really nice to people, that's great. But at the end, are they going to become clients? That's the big question. And it's really up to you, not up to them as much. Because if you've been nurturing them and you know their struggles, you should be building perfect products for them. And you should be thinking, what is the perfect price for them as well? Jeremy says, price smacking in my eye, unethical and morally wrong to gain clients. Yeah, it's um, keep your pricing flexible. So I'm happy you say that, Jeremy, because just before I came on live, I was in a workshop with a financial coach, and he is an 8-figure financial coach. And he was talking all about the economy and the recession. And I think that, offering pricing flexibility is super, super important. I don't lower my rates, but I do give strategically placed discounts. Like right now, till midnight today on September 15th, I'm offering a founder's discount to join my academy that will never be offered again. People who join up until now will be grandfathered into that rate, and I will never raise the price on them. But on everyone else, starting tomorrow, the price goes up, and it will go up again in January. So I'm going to be doing 2 price raises. Surprise. I know I'm so mean. But I know my audience, and I know that you value what you pay for as well. So be flexible, but don't let your insecurities get the better of you. Just to give you an example of how I'm being flexible with pricing. So I put together a proposal for services for a business. This business has never hired a B2B marketing person before. They're absolutely brand new. And They did get a little bit sticker shocked by my price. And because I'm so transparent about things, I had a talk with them, and I invited them, first of all, to compare my pricing with others. And I told them how to do that because I wanted to prove that my rates are absolutely not the highest rates out there and not the lowest rates out there, but pretty much a good price, right? So I stand behind my pricing. I will argue for anybody who comes at me saying your price is too high. But because I've done a lot of good market research, but I did want to offer them some pricing flexibility. Would I give them a discount? Hell no, because I value my time too much. When we're talking about something that doesn't require my time, I may be a little bit more lenient, but anything that takes my time is top dollar. All right. You should be the VIP in your own business, right? So anyone asks for one-on-one services, coaching, consultation, those should be your top prices of everything you offer, right? It should be at the very top. And so what I did was I offered them a different way of doing business. So instead of working with me for 30 days, I said, okay, I have put together the proposal originally for you to work with me for 30 days for this fee. And when I say 30 days, I'm saying 30 continuous days, right? Well, how about if I half the price, but we commit to 60 days and we half the work? So in month 1, we do half the work, and in month 2, we do the rest of the work. And that will give more flexibility because I know that you can't choose. You have to pay either way. Either you pay in dollars or you pay in years, right? In months. So you're either paying via time or you're paying via money. So usually the way it works is the more you want something done quickly, the higher the fee that you're going to need to pay to get it done. So if you can be more flexible, you can take longer to get something done, but pay less, right? And they loved it. So they were like, wow, that really helps us because then we can split out the cost over 2 months instead of paying the full fee in 1 month. All right. And in my academy, if you see on my academy page, you'll see that I'm offering a ton of pricing options because I want to be, number one, transparent in my rates. And number two, I want people to never feel like there's only one option. Now, if anything, you're going to have to end your prospecting with making people some offers. So what are those offers? Have you guys thought about your offers? Have you thought about your pricing? Do you have a gateway product? Do you have a signature product? Do you have a VIP product? Do you have a great lead magnet that's converting at least 30%? So go to my academy page if you want to see my offers to get a sense of offering people flexibility, offering people different tiers of service. Some people want like the top of the top. Some people are just kind of easing their way in and they're like, I'm not sure yet. And of course, everything is driven by price in the end, right? It's driven by price and value. But a lot of people want the top thing, but they can't quite afford it yet. So it's better to offer them something where they can afford that gets a lower level of service, but that gets them in, and then they feel good about it, right? So that's super important. And I found in my business that you have to end your prospecting with some good offers. And you have to talk about your offers more than you think, but not in a DM pitch. Invite people, say, I think you'd be a great candidate for my program. I would like to personally invite you to join my program. And you don't send this out to someone who you just met 5 minutes ago or 5 seconds ago. You have to take your time getting to know people, and you have to listen to them and figure out their needs and have conversations with them. And then you'll know, and they may not be the right candidate, and then you won't offer them that. That's why staying in touch is good. Sometimes I'll reach out to a person who I have a good rapport with, and I'll say, next week I'm doing my money workshop. I only do the money workshop twice a year. I think this would be a really good deal for you. Let me send you the information if you're interested and available. I'd love to have you come because I know this would be good and would help you, right? Based on the conversations we've had. So that I feel is a good way of prospecting, but with a soft pitch, not with a pitch slap or with a hardcore pitch, right? So long term, please, if you take anything away from this conversation or you join late, to resume, please send out personalized invitation requests to people who you honestly think need your services, or those are your people. Even if they never buy anything from you, they're still your people. Like, that you serve this type of person, right? And so stay in your zone, really stay in your zone. You can connect with other people a little bit, but I highly dissuade you from building your network based on bots, based on pods, based on AI, based on social Saturdays style, follow me, follow back, because you will hurt yourself in the long run. So send those personalized invitation requests to the right people. Do a killer introduction so that you don't overwhelm or underwhelm them. You don't pitch to them. You're very nice and friendly, and immediately ask them about themselves. Find out about your people and make sure it's clear to you. Sometimes I tell people, I'm really sorry to ask you so many questions, but I really didn't understand whom you serve, or are you in corporate? Are you an entrepreneur side? I didn't understand that part. Or what industry are you serving? So make sure that it's really clear for every single person you connected with that you know those things about them. And of course, it's up to them if they don't answer you. Their loss, right? If they're not interested in connecting or they connected for the wrong reasons, sometimes I remove people because I'm like, look, I've asked you like 3 times and you just aren't answering. So I assume you're not interested in really being connected, right? Put out value content so that people really see that you have something that they could benefit from. If you're not doing that and you're putting out your dog posts every day or your dancing posts every day, it's too much. It's too much if you want to make money and you're not trying to attract the wrong type of attention. Okay. And then keep those dialogues going. Stay on top of your DMs. Otherwise, you don't deserve business if you don't stay on top of your DMs, right? Now, I'm not saying that this is a hard rule when you have a personal hardship. I personally have gone offline. When my dad died, I was gone and I fell behind my DMs. There are life situations where that can be possible, or where you say, I'm taking a month off, I'm going to be out. Then you can set up an auto responder and let people know, I value your post or your message, but I'm actually gone for the month of August. I'll be back in September. If it's urgent, send me an email. You know, this is the polite thing to do, because otherwise, from my perspective, it makes me feel like I'm being ignored. If I've like tried to reach you and you're not answering me. So guys, I know I went way over, but I could talk about this for 2 hours. Prospecting without pitching. And just be there for this person, be a cheerleader for them, develop the relationships, and sooner or later, make them good offers. First, free offers, and then later, when it's appropriate, then you can make them some paid offers. And by then, they won't be mad at you. By then, they will be like, okay, if I don't buy it or I don't need it, they're not going to like block you because you pitched to them. All right. Even if they don't buy. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Thanks so much for sticking around so long, some of you. And if you have any questions about prospecting, I have 2 courses about this that I want you to check out just in case, because you never know when you need these things, right? Here we go. So you can check out my courses that you can buy and work on your own. academy.christamilione.com/store. And if you go in there, there's 2 courses that would be particularly good to check out. I have one here. This is my sales workshop. And so all these trainings, I run them twice a year live. And then in between, there's a full-blown course that you have lifetime access to. And then this is another one that is the sister course. And there's actually a duo offer that you can buy both of these for $60 deduction. So that's also something I'm going to put out. This one right here. Oops. Nurture your leads. And this one, I go into really the details of how to do this on a weekly, monthly basis, long term, so that you can really build a pipeline and you always have people in your pipeline. So if right now you can't name 20 people who would buy something from you, there's a problem. And when I say would buy something, I mean they really like what you're doing. They've talked to you several times. You know, you can feel that they're really value you. And then you say, hey, I think you'd be a good candidate for this. So honestly, that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to go out there and make a lot of money and never, ever be ashamed about making money, because money is just energy. You're giving value, and this value you give is actually helping these people accomplish something that's super, super valuable to them. So you're a do-gooder. By taking their money, you're giving them so much more back. And so please go out there and do good in this world. And maybe someday you can be like the Patagonia founder, who is a billionaire who just donated his entire company to a Save the Planet organization, climate change organization. So that's power. That's power to change the world. That's amazing to be able to do that, right? It's never too late, and there's never any excuses. The only thing standing between you and that is a good strategy, a good mental health, and a gift inside of you that only you can give to this world. So find it, use it, and let's go. I'll see you on the other side, guys. I do these lives every week, so come back next Thursday, same place, same time, and we'll be talking about other topics in business. And if you ever have any questions, reach out to me in the DMs on LinkedIn, on any social platform, or through my website that I just shared with you. Take care and see you guys next week. Bye-bye.